The first of the 5 approaches to quality assurance that we're going to consider is the idea of excluding for-profit educational institutions entirely from Workforce Pell eligibility. We'll start then with the case for the exclusion of for-profits. And the central argument here is that the concerns with quality among workforce programs generally is at their highest with for-profit educational institutions. And there, everybody agrees that the evidence is considerable that for-profits have not done as good of a job in placing people into higher paying jobs, and they also tend to be more expensive, so the value proposition is not as good. And there's really not a lot of disagreement, and we've already reviewed some evidence to support that. And so an additional argument that they make is that even if you say, well, there's all these the 4 other quality assurance approaches that we could take that for-profits would be subject to, and you could say, well, that'll take care of it. Those who support excluding for-profits say, no, that's not good enough, because it's the nature of that for-profit motive that gives them an incentive to find a way around whatever requirements we put in place, and they argue that that history suggests that they'll do this. It's also important to note that the history of for-profit abuse is even worse for minority students and low-income students and military students. And so people say, hey, those are populations where we need to be especially careful to safeguard them, and you can't trust for-profit institutions there. Those that argue against the idea of excluding for-profits have a fairly simple argument, and that is just that the other quality requirements, the other 4 approaches that we're going to discuss in a minute, are really the right way to do it. That they say if the for-profit programs can demonstrate quality, demonstrate that their students complete the programs and get placed into higher paying jobs, then problem solved, and we should be able to provide Pell Grants there to those to students in those programs. And so they say, yeah, we agree with the concern with for-profits. We just want to address that concern with some combination of the other quality requirements that we're about to discuss.